Hello, welcome to this update for Hurricane Eric in the Eastern Pacific. It's now a Category 1 hurricane. It just updated earlier today, and it's still strengthening. It's forecast to reach a Category 3 before landfall in spots of Mexico, and it's rapidly strengthening now. This is a very concerning situation for those areas. So we do have here the track some hurricane warnings already in those areas of Mexico into Oaxaca and Guerrero. Still some hurricane watches further north, and it's now forecast to reach major hurricane strength right before landfall in spots of Mexico. So please stay safe in those areas. This is a life-threatening situation. If you don't understand how dangerous this is, please do. So let's see here what might happen with this. The most concerning thing is like the damaged winds and the rainfall, but especially the rainfall. So they do have now possibly some 16 to 20 inches possible in spots of Oaxaca into southern Guerrero. That's like 400 to 500 millimeters. That could cause some catastrophic flooding those areas, and considering it might fall in a short span of time, like all in about 2 days, that makes landfall. So please stay safe in those areas. So valid times from June 18th today to June 21st, yeah. So the next few days. But around those areas, there's this orange of 8 to 12 inches and 200 to 300 millimeters. And the yellow 100 to 250 millimeters goes all the way north to Veracruz and most of Guerrero and more areas, even in Guatemala, close to 100 millimeters. So please stay safe in those areas. So they do mention here, Eric produced total rainfall of 8 to 60 inches, maximum totals of 20 inches across Mexican states of Oaxaca and Guerrero. This rainfall will lead to life-threatening flooding and mudslides, especially in areas of steep terrain. Rainfall totals of 2 and 4 inches, maximum 6 inches are expected across Guatemala, Mexican states of Chiapas, Michoacán, Colima, Jalisco, and Mexico City. So please stay safe in those areas. Please be careful. Warn others there. Tell them that this is not your ordinary rainfall event. This might be catastrophic, those floodings. So please stay safe. There's the wind speeds as well. Shows like the tropical storm force winds probability is nearly to 100% because it's already a hurricane, especially on the coast in those areas. There's the hurricane force winds also across Oaxaca, spots of Guerrero, and also there's the 50 knot wind, stronger some spot to the coast as well. So please stay safe in those areas. Be careful. The wind history, it has just turned into a hurricane today in those areas. So let's see here the most important messages. So this show Eric is rapidly intensifying and is expected to be a major hurricane when it reaches the coast of western Oaxaca or eastern Guerrero within the hurricane warning area on Thursday. Devastating wind damage is possible where the core of the storm moves onshore. Preparations to protect life and property should be rushed to completion. So devastating wind damage that could be very dangerous. Please stay safe. And like Eric will produce heavy rainfall across parts of Central America to southwest Mexico this week, life-threatening flooding, mudslides, likely in steep terrain, and more areas. And dangerous storm surge is also expected to produce coastal flooding and to the east of where the center crosses the coast in areas of onshore winds. So please stay safe in those areas, especially the flooding, the damaged winds, and also coastal flooding, the storm surge. So please be careful. There's here in Spanish, more importantly, so let's see. Eric está intensificando rapidamente e se espera que seja um huracán importante de categoria 3 quando alcance a costa oeste de Oaxaca e Guerrero, dentro de alerta de huracán en jueves. Daños devastadores por vientos son posibles donde el núcleo de la tormenta se mueva en la costa. Los preparativos para proteger la vida y la propiedad deben apresurarse hasta la finalización. Y el Erick producirá fuertes lluvias a través de porciones de América Central y Suroeste de México hasta el fin de esta semana. Inundaciones, deslizamientos de tierra amenazan la vida, son probables, especialmente en este terreno empinado. Se espera una marejada ciclónica peligrosa que produce inundaciones costeras cerca y al este donde el centro se cruza la costa en áreas de viento en la costa. Muchísimas precauciones en estas zonas. La lluvia, quizás haya más de 400 milímetros de lluvia, posiblemente alguna zona en Oaxaca o Guerrero casi con 500 milímetros de lluvia por este sistema. Eso es muy peligroso. Essas inundações e deslizamentos de terra vão ser muy peligrosos. Muchas precauciones y, y avisar más gente que esto sea muy peligroso. E aqui há uma informação, umas recomendações também neste sítio web de México que está, el enlace está na descrição. Então, muestra aqui pronóstico de lluvias, zona de vigilância. Então, dizem que a precipitação acumulada de las 8 horas del miércoles 18 de junio a las 8 horas del jueves de 19. Entonces, durante hoy y principios de mañana, las lluvias puntuales extraordinarias, mayores de 250 minutos en Oaxaca, así como las lluvias torrenciales 150 a 200 minutos Guerrero y Chiapas, y cuales podrán ser acompañadas de descargas eléctricas, además de originar el incremento en los niveles de los ríos y arroyos, deslaves y encharcamientos, inundaciones en zonas bajas de los estados indicados. Entonces, muchas precauciones en estas zonas. Y aquí las posibles ráfagas de viento muestra, prevé viento de 100 a 120 km por hora, com ráfagas de 130 a 150 km por hora nas costas de Oaxaca e Guerrero, e de 40 a 60 km por hora. Viento com ráfagas de 70 a 90 na costa de Chiapas, incrementando-se durante a tarde e noite, e además no oleaje de 5 a 6 metros de altura nas costas de Oaxaca e Guerrero, com 4 a 5 metros de altura em Chiapas e aumentando durante a tarde. Então, precauções, la maré, também nas recomendações, extremar as precauções en la población en general, en las zonas de los estados mencionados por la lluvia, viento y oleaje, incluyendo la navegación marítima, y atender las recomendaciones emitidas por las autoridades del Sistema Nacional de Protección Civil en cada entidad. Entonces, esto es importante. También mirar las noticias así y las recomendaciones de las agencias más cercanas así del gobierno y todo. Porque se caso há algum ordem para evacuar ou sair de las zonas, tenéis que salir, porque es muy peligroso esto. Pero ya está casi llegando el huracán. Y si salís como cuando está casi llegando es peligroso, porque si estás conduciendo así, con esta lluvia, viento, todos, es muy peligroso. Entonces, si está llegando muy cerca, mejor estar así en casa, protegidos. Pero muchísimas precauciones en estas zonas. Y aquí hay unas recomendaciones que pueden ser importantes también, como mantente informado a través de los canales oficiales, sigue las indicaciones de las autoridades de protección civil federal, estatal y municipal. Permanece en un lugar seguro y evita salir de casa. No arrojes objetos a la calle que pueden convertirse en proyectiles con el viento. No intentes cruzar los ríos, arroyos ni cuerpos de agua que representan un alto riesgo. Evitar tocar postes o caja de luz o cables eléctricos. No transites por zonas inundadas, ya que la corriente puede arrastrar vehículos. Si vives en las laderas o las barrancas, notas grietas o hundimientos, inclinación de los árboles o flujos de agua, repórtalo inmediato a la protección civil, que puede ser un señal de deslizamiento de tierra. Y identifica los refugios temporales más cercanos de tu ubicación. Si estás en un albergue y presentas sintomas de enfermedad, informa al personal de salud. No salgas a navegar. Revisa los amarres de las embarcaciones. Si las autoridades solicitan evacuación, sigue las instrucciones sin dudar. Es por seguridad. Entonces, muchísimas precauciones y avisar más gente. So stay safe in those areas. Please be careful. Warn others. You can see on the structure here, Tarai looks more like a hurricane. He's trying to develop an eye as well. There, the rain bands are already touching Mexico with some storms and heavy rain. So please warn others. Stay safe. There, the models here, some hurricane models and global models. They mainly make landfall around those areas into Oaxaca, close to Guerrero, and then some continue north and west, and others just dissipate inside of Mexico. So there's like the GFS as well, shows many in that area. It's more scared than the different members of the GFS, but generally in that area as well. There's here the intensity guidance. It's already a category 1 here, so you'll definitely reach category 2 today as well. So most models are into category 2. Some just remain at category 1, but most of them go to category 2. And about some 4 or 5 of them go to category 3 as well. So the official forecast now has a category 3 before landfall. So this is very possible. Please stay safe in those areas, and depending on how fast it intensifies, this might climb even further. So please stay tuned for local updates there and warn others. Please be careful. There's here the GFS does show as a hurricane, makes landfall there, and still some heavy rains remain later. And later on in the future, still shows some lingering low pressures near Mexico and Central America, but it's not showing anything else in the Gulf like it did yesterday. There's the European. And the Europeans kind of 2 weeks still. It has some 984 that landfall. That's still like category 1 in 984. And the official forecast has category 3 at landfall. So the European might be a little bit too weak. The icon, let's not even talk about it because it's like still a tropical storm. And the Canadian, the same thing. It's still like two less than 994. So this doesn't know what it's doing. But please stay safe in those areas and be careful. So there's the European model, the rainfall totals. So it does have some 289 centimeters, close to 300. The official, like the National Hurricane Center forecast, has close to 500. So they might use some more precise models on the rainfall, some more high resolution models that capture the actual strength of the hurricane, because the Europeans kind of weaker and everything. So I think the rainfall totals might be higher than what is showing up here. But there's the GFS, it has some 264, further south to 317, some 378. So please stay safe. It does have 294 in a few spots. And the GFS also this other area in Nicaragua next 5 days, and Eastern Mexico close to 300 millimeters in those two areas and across Western Mexico too. So be aware those areas as well. But I still think their forecast might be more accurate than this. They have like 400 to 500 millimeters possible. So please stay safe in those areas. The icon's too weak, but it does show close to 300, the icon in a few spots. So be aware too, just in case. But if you are there, treat this situation like if more than 400 was going to fall. And I do think it will be more than 400 in a few spots there. So please stay safe in those areas, especially like near those areas of steep terrain, those hills, mountains, as you can see here, they might be very dangerous for the landslides, mudslides, and the danger will reach far inland into Mexico, with flooding danger extending all the way to eastern Mexico. So please stay safe. And across more spots in the west coast, some 140 to 148 millimeters. So please be careful in all of those areas there. So stay safe and please warn others, especially after this makes landfall. Be careful with flooding in eastern Mexico because it might be very dangerous too. So and it's hard to predict the exact wind gust that this will have, but on the Mexico website there, they did mention some gusts close to 150 km per gust where it makes landfall, but depends on the sustained winds as well, if it manages to reach category 3 or not. So the European model that's actually weaker than the GFS, it's already 165 km per gust in those areas between Puerto Escondido and Acapulco. But the Europeans kind of further south. The official forecast is like slightly further north. So shows here the hurricane tracker. There's this path as well. So the official path has landfall further north near Copala, but the exact location will still change. It still depends. But the European has the worst further south, close to Puerto Escondido. So they do have it as a category 3 with 185 km per sustained winds. So let's pretend those are the sustained winds. The gusts might be even close to like let's say 200 km per gusts if this does reach category 3 strength. So please stay safe. But it will definitely be more than 150. That's for sure. So please be careful those areas, and shows like the icon, it's too weak, but there's the GFS, and I don't understand the GFS because it's like it shows a stronger hurricane than the European, but the wind gusts are lower in the GFS. So the GFS apparently doesn't like showing wind gusts. But yes, so stay safe in those areas. Please be careful, especially if this goes according to forecast, like 185 km per sustained winds would be very deadly, the devastating wind damage. So please stay safe, including storm surge and coastal floodings, some 4 to like 5 or 6 meter waves where this makes landfall. So please stay safe in those areas, warn others. Now, let's see something very quick. Entonces, también va a haber lluvias muy fuertes más zonas de México, más así cerca del Golfo, más de 167 milímetros. Un otro modelo tiene como unos 191, casi 300 milímetros, unas zonas sí, en el este de México, cerca del Golfo. Y este otro modelo 166, casi 185 milímetros Entonces, muchas precauciones con inundaciones, deslizamientos de tierra en estas otras zonas, sí, cerca del Golfo y en el Pacífico. Más zonas en el Pacífico, más de 153 milímetros, más abajo unos 151, 133. Entonces, lluvia muy fuerte en estas zonas. Precauciones con más riesgo de deslizamientos de tierra, inundaciones peligrosas. Si estás también en Guatemala y Belice, muestra más de 100 milímetros en las zonas de Guatemala, sur de México, nos próximos 5 días, y más en Belice, casi 113 unas zonas en Belice. Precauciones, y principalmente en Nicaragua, en los próximos 5 días, muestra más de 163 milímetros. Algunas zonas como 150, 140 milímetros. Entonces, lluvia muy fuerte también en Nicaragua. Y este otro modelo tiene como 348 milímetros en Nicaragua. Entonces, muchas precauciones con inundaciones también en estas zonas, pero principalmente así, en México muchísimas precauciones y hacer todo lo que puedas para estar seguro de estas inundaciones, del viento, viento muy fuerte, más de 100 kilómetros por hora, las ráfagas y también deslizamientos de tierra, muchísimas precauciones. So stay safe in those areas. Please be careful. You you just heard that. So there's other spots like Costa Rica, still to more than 100 meters next 5 days. A few spots in Costa Rica. So stay safe too, but especially Nicaragua and more spots there. Northern Panama as well. Those heavy rains scattered around. So be careful. Those areas and does show these tropical waves spotted the southeastern Caribbean. More than some May is 70 millimeters, some spots Trinidad and Tobago next 5 days, even to 76 millimeters in a few spots. So be careful these tropical waves. The GFS is higher. It has even to 91 millimeters in Trinidad and Tobago next 5 days. The icons more in South America, the coast of Guyana into Venezuela, more than 114 millimeters. So be careful with flooding there too. Some showers and passing thunderstorm spots of Cuba into Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, the Bahamas into Florida too. So be aware in those areas. Spots in Cuba still some 24 millimeters, 22 in Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, some more passing storms. So please stay safe in those areas and please be careful, especially this hurricane in Mexico. It's a life-threatening situation. And here, just to remind you again, those spots, the hurricane warning, major hurricane expected. So please stay safe in those areas and stay tuned for updates in local media and wherever you can. And depending on what happens, we might put something on the YouTube post. So stay tuned to the post there in case there are major changes or something. But please stay safe in those areas. Be careful. And here, let's just see some more stuff. So now I'll, I'll just check here if we can see more about this storm, like the pressure, but it's mainly a category 1. So now it shows some 90, 94 pressure, but this is not millibars, this HPA. So, and it's right to 137 km per sustained winds according to wind, but the information might be different in other sites. But it's already strengthening strengthening a lot. But there's zoom earth here that I like more. So let's see if it has something more important. So it does have the category 3 landfall there as well, and it's almost developing a good structure. And sounds like an eye is trying to form in the middle, and does show a range to 140 km per hour sustained winds and forecast to reach 185, like I told you. And the pressure is here on the side as well. So please stay safe in those areas and be careful. But now let's just see very quick if there's something important the severe weather today. So it's still an enhanced risk in those areas in the Midwest across spots of Missouri towards Illinois, in Indiana into Ohio. It has shifted a little bit further east into Ohio too, and southern Michigan, those areas. The slight risk goes all the way to Texas, and also slight risk in the Mid-Atlantic. So stay safe those storms as well. There's like the enhanced risk there, marginal risk further north, and the tornado threat is now 10%. It's not hatched, thank God, but there's the 10% tornado threat spots of Illinois into Indiana. So please stay safe in those areas. A few tornadoes possible, especially in the 10%. So warn others, have ways to receive warnings too. So there's wind, the 30% and 15%, and the hail just 15%. So especially wind and tornadoes might be the greatest threat today. So severe thunderstorms are expected this afternoon and evening from parts of the southeast Missouri, northeastward to the Southern Great Lakes, carried to numerous damaging winds, isolated large hail, and tornadoes appear possible. Severe thunderstorms with damaging winds may also occur in the mid-Atlantic. So stay safe in those areas. Please be careful because a well-defined shortwave trough is currently over western Missouri, tracking rapidly eastward at the surface. A low is centered over northeast Missouri with very moist, unstable air mass in place across much of Illinois. Indiana's large-scale forcing ascent, strengthening wind fields overspreads unstable warm sector. Supercell thunderstorms are expected to rapidly develop, and all severe hazards, including a few tornadoes, appear possible for the afternoon as the storms track rapidly northeastward across Illinois into central northern Indiana. So refer to some mesoscale discussions for some details now, and these links is on the description so you can read more and receive updates as well. So stay safe in those areas. There's the Mid-Atlantic too, with a few storms. So be careful. And there's still tomorrow, day 2 shows this big marginal risk across the northern plains, the upper Midwest. This marginal from Arkansas to Maine, and this light risk goes well into Canada. So be aware if you are in Eastern Canada too. So like it goes from North Carolina to Canada, and a marginal risk in spots of Montana as well. So there's the tornado threat, 2% across the east and going to Canada, especially in the northeast. There's wind threat in all the areas, especially the 15% on the east coast, and hail just 5% in a few spots there, the plains into the northeast. So stay safe. Strong to potential severe thunderstorms are forecast on Thursday from parts of New England to the Mid-Atlantic and the Carolinas. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful. You can read here if you want as well. The links on the description. Let's just see some storms, the HER. So shows like this chart here shows, especially like the Midwest. Let's zoom further so we can see better. So there's like spots of South, Central, East. Let's put like northeast to see what we can get. So shows like those severe storms in Illinois, especially that line might contain embedded tornadoes and some damaging winds as that low pressure rapidly develops and goes northeast. So this goes shows you can see right there in the center the surface cyclone spinning, and shows in Chicago some storms as well, Illinois into Indiana. So this goes there into Michigan, more storms into Ontario, and continues there in Ohio, more storms on Sunday. Does show storms in the Appalachians into the northeast. Some severe storms there still, and there into Canada. So stay safe in those areas. And does show this afternoon, southern Ontario, a few possible severe storms as well. So stay safe. There's a different map here for Missouri. So shows those storms there going from Missouri to Illinois, and then still a few stronger ones later this afternoon in Oklahoma to Missouri and Arkansas, even Tennessee, a few more stronger storms. So stay safe in those areas and please be careful. The whole area here does show this is a few stronger storms, southern Canada into North Dakota, into Minnesota, spots southern Saskatchewan into Ontario, and in Alberta still a few stronger storms. So stay safe in those areas too. There's Cape here shows like especially this afternoon ahead of that system in Illinois, 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram, some spots in Illinois, Indiana. So stay safe in those areas, especially. Still shows like somewhere in the northeast tomorrow, especially New England, and spots in the plains, still a lot of Cape. So stay safe in those areas and there's here for Canada. Let's see if they have an interesting forecast. So the show today, I think, yeah, Wednesday, shows spots of southern Manitoba to Saskatchewan, some severe storms possible. They're in the yellow, especially some hail, some damaging winds and heavy rain. They have the possibility of a funnel cloud or two in Alberta, so that's a possibility. There's day two, still shows some stronger storms possible spots of southern Canada. But in Ontario, there those storms today, Wednesday. Be careful, like I showed you there before, those severe storms, and still Thursday shows some stronger storms there. So this was issued Tuesdays, valid until Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, I think day two is Thursday. If it's not, correct me. So, but day two might also be Wednesday today because this a larger area there possible severe storms. So beware. And day three might be Thursday. Yeah. So day three is Thursday because the forecast goes until Thursday. And there's in Quebec, especially day two, those storms possible, like even 290 km per gust with a few storms, some 1 to 2 centimeter hail, heavy rain, and even like there's a tornado emoji here. There's small chance of tornadoes in those areas in Canada, like southern Canada especially. So stay safe in those areas, be careful. So we don't have that much time today, but future videos will talk about the heat wave in more depth and everything, especially because this heat risk is getting more intense. Now we have extreme from Friday to Monday, many spots of the Midwest into the Mid-Atlantic, so a big area of extreme heat risk. So this might be dangerous as well. So stay safe. Like they mentioned here, the highest temperatures of the season with little overnight relief. That remains in the 70s and some high 90s during the day. So please stay safe in those areas. Still some excessive rainfall threat across spots of the Midwest, there in Canada as well, and the Mississippi Valley, more spots, so stay safe. Some flooding to those areas, possibly day three for Friday into Canada, like northern Montana, the Midwest still for Saturday, three spots there. So stay safe. Those areas does show the day 1 through 7 there in Alberta, in Canada, possibly to 90 to 100 meters in a spot or two. Shows it down there in the southern frame in Mexico, well above 200, and shows in Florida some 1 to 2 inches, in the Midwest close to 3 inches or even 4, and those spots in eastern Canada. So be careful, those spots too. And yeah, so stay safe. There's here for this rain, the European model shows there in Alberta, the European salt wave like 151 millimeters from the storms, those areas. So some heavy rain. Be careful in eastern Quebec as well, close to 100, a few spots in Ontario, those stronger storms. So stay safe. those areas too. And be aware, we still have those below average temperatures down the west with a lot of snow in the Canadian Rockies. So still the European solid to 94 centimeters of snow until Monday. So that's actually quite a lot. The GFS goes down towards Montana and Idaho with more than like 5 inches in a few spots, even more than 10 inches far northern Montana. So there's the icon in Idaho, a few spots, Washington, Oregon, some snow, but especially in Alberta and British Columbia, the most snow in the Rockies in Alberta. So be careful. Those areas in Manitoba, some more as well, possibly 9 centimeters. The icon still has some snow, northern northern Quebec, far northern Quebec, and even spots in Labrador. The European has just northern Labrador to northern Quebec, but it doesn't have that area there. So stay safe in those areas. It does show like some wind gusts might be stronger as this system tracks through eastern Canada, shows spots there in Labrador and Quebec, some higher gusts today, Wednesday until Thursday. This goes into the Atlantic, still strong gusts northern Quebec there. In those spots, a few spots in Nunavut might get some light snow, northern Nunavut, and off the west coast of California, some strong gusts in western US. Friday, Saturday, the Rockies, more spots in the US, some very high wind gusts, potentially monitoring to next week, some possible strong gusts in southern Canada, and still in the US with some more storm systems. So we'll keep watching those areas and we'll have more updates. But stay safe in those areas. Does show here the her just to see if there's something interesting on the tornado parameter. So does show like significant tornado parameter, those areas in the Midwest. So it already has by like 22 Z's too far, but slightly earlier this afternoon in Illinois. Those areas, and actually right now, it does have some higher parameters, southwestern Illinois. In those areas, by Tuesday in the evening, it still has a few isolated spots, even the plains. So stay safe in those areas and be careful, especially those storms. It does have the updraft from Jalisco, some stronger tracks into the Midwest, even to Tennessee. So stay safe, those storms, and like be careful. Just going back here to the temperatures today and tomorrow, and we'll show the rest of the weekend some later videos. But they'll show all the way to 112, 114 in Arizona and California. So still some major heat there in the southeast, high into the 90s, right? Some 100 in Texas, New Mexico, and some A is 90s creeping there into the plains. So stay safe in those areas. Does show some 40s in the northwest during the night and higher in the south during the day. But does show like to 115 in Arizona possible Thursday, tomorrow. So please stay safe, especially in Phoenix. Drink a lot of water. Please stay safe. Show some 90s in the plains already. More spots in the mid-Atlantic too. So please be careful in those areas. And just to be more precise, like to 116 in Arizona, like some areas to the southwest of Phoenix. So please be careful. More spots in California, into Nevada. So please stay safe in those areas. And by Sunday, not Sunday, Friday, by day 3, already shows to 100 as far north as South Dakota in the plains. So please be careful. We'll keep watching this heat as well. So stay safe, be careful.